It's very, very important because if you just wake up and your spouse is laying next to you and they hadn't even opened their eyes yet, and you look over and you just irritated at them, right? Listen, been there, done it. I get it, right? But this is how you're starting your day. You're starting your day with a mindset of negative energy. How you leave the house. When you leave the house and you don't leave with some type of positive energy, it's carrying you throughout the day and how you deal with other people. Let's go a step deeper. Let's talk about how you interact with yourself before your feet even hit the ground. How do you interact with yourself? What are the thoughts that you are having? That is so important, y'all, right? So you could just be sitting there. When I wake up, this is what I do. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you to have a plan for yourself, right? You have to plan. If you do not plan, then you are going to fail. We all know that. But many of us, we just let life happen. And then something major happens, a catastrophe, and we're like, dang, how did that happen? I don't even know. I don't even know when that happened or why I would do something like that. It's because you're not planning your life. It's because you are not being self-aware. It's because you are not controlling your inner me, right? So before your feet even hit the ground, what are you thinking? And so I lay there and I start a dialogue with God. I command my day. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to command your day. You know how to command your day? You say, I command that this day is going to be a peaceful day. It is going to be a productive day. It is going to be a positive day. And then peaceful, productive, positive. Then you make a plan about how are you going to have a peaceful day? How are you going to have a positive day? What does having a productive day today look like? You are the one in control of how you show up. Nobody else is. It's all up to you. But you have to shift your mindset, right? Because your mindset is really on autopilot. Listen, the life that we live, it's so much. We're inundated with so much. We are wives and husbands and parents and children and friends and bosses and employees. We are so many things to so many people. We are playing so many roles and we get tired. I get it. Trust me, I'm never telling you not to get tired. When you get tired, you have to learn how to rest properly. But you still have to be able to manage your life, to manage your inner self in a way where you produce. Because that's the goal. What is the purpose of living a life and we are not producing? That serves no purpose. And I want you to produce. I want you to produce first and foremost in your spiritual life and then in your home. Because if I give you everything to produce outside of your home, that's not living. That is not life. That is not true success. But many of us are more focused on the external than we are the internal, right? And so your life moves in the direction of your thoughts. And many people, we lose the day before it even begins because of how we wake up. So I want you to be very aware of your thoughts, very aware of your thoughts about how you think as it pertains to your spouse, right? This rise and refocus is for everybody, but I'm honing in on relationships because relationships are struggling. Marriages are struggling. And we put so much energy into our relationships with everybody else. And we are dying on the inside because we're not putting energy towards the most important relationships, God and our spouse. And so I want you to think about when you wake up in the morning, what are the thoughts that you have towards your spouse? Is your spouse irritating you before they even wake up? Are they getting on your nerves? Are you just looking at them like just irritated, just off the bat? You have to change your thoughts. The only person you can control is you. The only thing you could do anything about is your thoughts, your actions, your behavior. It is you that you can control. So you have to get to the point where you say, you know what? My spouse, however they show up, that's on them. That's their decision. But I'm going to choose how I show up. We moved here in Atlanta 2018. And, I was used to driving real slow and mellow in Huntsville. Huntsville, it's a slow groove, and I got used to that. I came from Jersey, and people drive crazy there. But I've been in Huntsville so long, and so it's laid back. They do everything slow. They eat slow. They talk slow, right? Everything is slow. So get here to Atlanta, and they drive crazy in Atlanta. And one day, I don't know what I did. The only thing I think of was I was driving slow. And so this gentleman, I'm looking in my rear view, and he's like demonstrative. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Then it comes and swoops beside me and sticks up his middle finger and cussing me. And so I was like, I can't stick up my middle finger, but I stuck up my middle finger to him, and I was like, F you. And right then, God convicted me, y'all. God was like, Shirley, do you like the way that looks? Does that, are you okay with that? And I was like, dang, I don't like the way that looks. Like, seeing myself, I don't like that. And it was at that point that God was showing me, you're doing that because you're not living your life off of certain principles. You've not just built a solid foundation of principles that you are going to live your life off of. And that's when I really started working on what are the principles that I am going to live my life off of. When I look in the mirror at the end of my day, am I going to be able to say, girl, you did that. You were not reactive. That person flicked you off, but you didn't react in a negative way. Your boss got on your last nerve, but you didn't react in a certain way. You're changing, you're growing, you're healing, you're doing the work. Or am I going to look in the mirror and be like, dang girl, you failed again. You failed again. You know you don't like that energy. Why do you keep allowing somebody to just take you off your square? I had to decide which feeling did I want. And I wanted the feeling of being able to look in the mirror and to be satisfied with what I saw. I'm not saying I get it right every time, but let me tell you something. I get it right most of the time. So now, this is what I do. If somebody is flicking me off, just using that as an example, literally, or, cussing me in traffic and getting all upset, literally, I will start praying. If you're sitting in the car with me, you can hear me because I want to give an energy that I care about everybody, even if you don't care about me. And so I'll say, man, God, please be with them, because for them to give that type of energy, something clearly is going on in their life. Maybe they just got into an argument with their spouse. Maybe they lost a loved one. Maybe they got laid off, right? Maybe they lost their SNAP benefits. Like something happened. So why am I going to allow somebody else's pain to cause me pain? That is so backwards, y'all. You have to be in control of your spirit, your mind, your thoughts. That's the power that you have. So many times we operate from a place of, well, if somebody treats me this way, then I'm going to treat them that way. Well, if you do this to me, then I'm going to do that to you. Oh, they didn't answer the phone. Well, I'm not going to answer the phone. Like we just so petty and we so immature. And it's not getting us what it is that we say we want in life. So you have to be able to control yourself, but you have to plan how you are going to do that. And so I said, okay, I want to be a person of integrity. I want to be a person who serves. I want to be a person who is kind, not just to people who are kind to me, but to everybody. I really do want patience. I really do want to have a spirit of long suffering. I don't want to react. I don't want to get defensive so much. And so, you know what happened? God allowed me to be put in positions where I had to train those muscles. And those positions were here at home, here with my husband. So when my husband would get on my nerve or do something that hurt my feelings or irritated me or frustrated me, I had the power to say, Shirley, how are you going to deal with this? What are you going to do? How are you going to choose to show up? And I want peace in my life. So I began to choose differently. I can't choose for my husband. I can't choose for my children. I can't choose for my friends. I can't choose for none of y'all, but I can choose for myself. And so I just want to encourage you to choose for yourself. You know, the Bible says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. My mentor, Ronnie Vanderhorst, said, the root of all maladjustment is in the mind. And that is the truest statement ever. Your mind is everything. Your thoughts are everything. What thoughts are you leading with today, right now? What thoughts are you leading with about what's going on in your household? And just because there may be stress and and anger and hurt and sadness and loneliness and frustration within your household does not mean that you cannot lead with positive thoughts and positive energy. That is a choice. People hate to hear it. They think that they have to be in sync with the dynamics that are going on, and that is not the truth. You have the power. You have the power to change and to reset your mind. So I want to give you some action steps. I want you to start each morning by commanding your day. It's what time is it? It is 6:49. I'm about to be done in a couple of minutes. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me some questions. I'll go through and see and answer what I can. I want to be done at 7 because I want you guys to tap into ET's 21-day 1% challenge. It is powerful. Please tap in every day at 7 o'clock. But some action steps I want to give you. Start each morning by commanding your day, and you command it out loud. You say it like how you are hearing me right now. You need to hear yourself. I am commanding that today will be. Give at least three commands. I want you to start identifying your negative thought patterns. The brain doesn't know right from wrong, good or bad from bad. The brain only knows patterns. That's why we continue to do the same thing over and over, because we continue to think the same thing over and over. You have to break your negative thought patterns. Listen, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So let's start with looking at your spouse. What negative thoughts are you having about your spouse? And I would say to journal this so that you can really see it all. The paper remembers what the brain does not. Start journaling. What are my negative thought patterns towards my spouse? Any friendships that I have, any relationships that I have with family members, peers, any relationships that I have with my coworkers, my boss or my employees. What are your negative thought patterns about these people and about things? We can have negative thought patterns about having to do something, having to show up in a certain way. I want you to replace them with an opposing thought, y'all. That's going to take work. You're going to have to peel back layers to do that. But if you want to get unstuck, if you want to get out of just dealing with so much anxiety and depression, a lot of that, it is up here. It's up here. It is your thoughts that is controlling the dynamics of your life. And then I want you to commit to at least, y'all, and this is at the least, 30 minutes of not touching your phone when you wake up in the morning. I want you to replace that with a spiritual exercise, whatever that looks like for you. Spending time with God, praying, meditating, listening to God, putting on worship music. Go into a spiritual place. Remember, how you start your day is typically how you will end your day. Next week, I really want to discuss the phases of change. We're going to talk about change. We're going to talk about the phases of change and some things that I learned throughout my research and study about habits. It was quite interesting. Let me see. Any questions? Thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate it. Come back next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, Hump Day, Rise and Refocus. Rise and what is a way to come back, finish the week strong and focus? Oh, that's from me. All is well. Glad y'all are back live. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, somebody said we can't hear you. Good. Oh, they said it's good now. It's good now. All right, guys. Have a great day. Have a great day. I'm just over here looking at TikTok. What's up, TikTok? Listen, you all go. You command your day. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Command your day. Have a great day. All right. Be intentional. Your life depends on it. Peace, guys.